Oh, hello, welcome everybody to our session this evening, our late and listen session. My name's Kate Legg and I'm one of the practitioners that work for Dementia Carers Count. I'm an occupational therapist by background, and some of you may have met me before in other sessions. I'm joined today by Jane Stanfield. Jane, are you able to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hello, I'm Jane. I'm one of the associate practitioners with Dementia Carers Count. My background is mainly in supporting carers with information and advice and guidance and carers assessment over 25 odd years. And I now work as a chaplain in a dementia nursing home.
Oh, lovely. Thank you for joining us, Jane. And thank you for joining us for this session. We really wanted to put on this session tonight. The session is called Fond Memories, and we wanted it really to be an opportunity for people to be able to reflect on memories, maybe of people that are no longer with us, people that you've lost, but equally maybe that people that are not able to experience memories in the same way. So somebody you care for maybe in a care home or who may be in the later stages of a dementia. And we wanted to just have some time to reflect on memories, some positive ones, but also potentially sad ones as well, because we just think it's really important to spend some time doing that and to give you this opportunity. So if you're with us live, then that's brilliant. If there's anything you want to share with us, please pop it in the comments. And we also have a memory wall on our website, which our colleagues will put into the chat box so you can join up. If you add memories to there, we can read them out. If you don't want to put them on there now so that they can be read out, then please do put them on afterwards. And equally, if you don't want to share, we still want to give you the opportunity to have some time to yourself to reflect. So later on in this session, we are going to pause for a couple of minutes. Jane's going to light a candle and we will have time for you to reflect. So just to get us started, Jane and I are just going to have a little bit of time talking about memories and why they're important and things that we can do to prompt memories. So Jane, why is it important to spend some time reflecting?
Oh, well, it's there's lots of reasons, but if the person we're thinking about is still alive but possibly losing their own memories, then it's very important for us to share our memories of them with them. We touched on that in our last lunch and listen on spirituality, and I did come across this great quote from C.S. Lewis about sharing our memories with them. He says, "A friend is someone who knows the song in your heart and can sing it back to you when you have forgotten the words." And so sharing memories is singing back to the person, which is a lovely image. Obviously, if the person is no longer with us, if they have died, then sharing their memories is different, but still important, because they are part of what we are now. People have given us good memories and made memories for us, and now we are remembering them and acknowledging that they are still with us, in that sense that they contributed to our life, and we carry on remembering them. And that can be sad and poignant. It can also be lovely and funny sometimes when we remember something funny.
Yeah, lovely. I was thinking about that, about part of the grieving process is about experiencing different emotions, and that actually sometimes remembering somebody does feel sad and make you upset and tearful, but is as important as remembering other things as well, Jane.
Yeah. And there are different ways of remembering. I mean, there's those regular, just day-to-day rememberings. When I look in the mirror in the bathroom, I see my mother looking back at me because I look so much like her. So that I remember her every time I brush my teeth, which I'm sure she would find funny.
Yeah.
And yes, but there's also more formal processes that we can use, and formal things and deliberate things to remember people.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I was thinking because there are times, aren't there? Sometimes there's particular dates or anniversaries or things where you may spend more time thinking about stuff, but quite often at this time of year, so with Christmas, but with other festivals and special occasions, sometimes you kind of very busy and you're trying to get through all of that, and you maybe that you don't allow yourself time to sit and think about that person. And so, I mean, that's part of the reason for doing this sort of session this evening, to have a time where you can sit and think about that person. But I was just thinking about other things you can do maybe during that time to remember somebody. So, I mean, one of the examples I was thinking about is whether there's a particular object or something that reminds you of them that maybe you might want to have out at this time of year. I'm just thinking of pictures. I've got some little things here, pictures maybe, or you know, particular significant objects that help you to remember that person. So sometimes people find it helpful. I don't know if they can, I don't know, maybe put that up in the room, or maybe they've got a special bauble or something that goes on a Christmas tree, or something that reminds them of the person they're thinking about.
We had a fish tank. My mother died in a hospice. It was a lovely place, and it had a fish tank in the entrance point, and my children were very little, and when they came in to visit, they loved the fish tank, and so afterwards we got a fish tank to remember her, which was nice. And
sometimes people might go and visit special places, or some people might have a particular plant, or you know, they might have planted a rose bush or something like that. So that's some other ways that you might be able to remember the person. Just thinking about people maybe that are who are experiencing dementia at the moment, so people that are being cared for, who may be struggling to bring up memories, and just thinking of some ideas about how you might prompt things. And so one of the things we usually suggest is that you rely on senses, or you use different senses to prompt. Have you got any thoughts around that, or any examples of that?
Well, the smells of Christmas actually are very evocative, aren't they? Cinnamon, mince pies, you know, the smell, not just the taste, but the smell of them, and the sounds as well, all the Christmas music. I've just been taking various carol services in where I work, and almost everybody, you can see them recognizing Away in a Manger if they don't recognize anything else. You know, it's such an early memory for us all at school, or you know, at Sunday school, those carols that we've sung all our lives. And so it's certainly strikes a chord. Because
yesterday I went to Christmas market, and actually as I walked around the Christmas market, there were things like stalls that were selling you know, like mulled wine, and the different wreaths with the orange and cinnamon, and roasted chestnuts. And so as I was walking around there yesterday, I thought, oh gosh, all those smells, well, make you hungry and want to get some of the mulled wine and chestnuts, but it prompts memories, doesn't it? And so things like Christmas cake, spiced biscuits, any other things really that are associated with particular festivals, lights, and so if you're visiting somebody, or you're with somebody, trying to use a few of those to prompt memories. And also you're right about music, but I was also thinking about television, and how, not so much now, but I remember that particular things were on every year. So I remember Sound of Music. My family will laugh because I absolutely loved that film and watched it over and over, but we watched it over and over at Christmas with my nan and my mum, and so that sort of film now kind of evokes lots of memories. And things like the snowman on the telly, as soon as that comes on the telly, you know, it's Christmas. So they're kind of things that, you know, I can relate to in terms of memories, but it's important to think of for the person that you're caring for, and are there going to be particular things that they might watch or see or hear that prompts some memories as well. So another thing about thinking about memories is sometimes it's easy to talk about memories and share memories, but sometimes that's quite hard, and so people might want to write things down, or there may be particular readings or poems or things that help them to remember. And did you have a poem, Jane, that you were going to read about? About candles.
Candles. And this is a good memory for people, because the poem is called Four Candles. So those of us who remember the two Ronnies will have a smile with that. But it's actually a very it's a poignant poem. Someone's put it on, but it's also about using items, using symbols to express how we're feeling. So I'll just read it. And it's about 4 candles, and it goes with lighting 4 candles. I've only got one here, but you can imagine it. The first candle represents our grief. The pain of losing you is intense. It reminds us of the depth of our love for you. The second candle represents our courage to confront our sorrow, to comfort each other, to change our lives. This third candle we light in your memory for the times we laughed, the times we cried, the times we were angry with each other, the silly things you did, the caring and joy you gave us. The fourth candle we light for our love. We light this candle that your light will always shine. As we enter this holiday season and share this night of remembrance with our family and friends, we cherish the special place in our hearts that will always be reserved for you. We thank you for the gift your living brought to each of us. We love you. We remember you.
Oh, that's lovely. Thank you, Jane. So what we'd like to do now is just have an opportunity. Jane's going to light a candle. Actually, I've got one here as well that I can light. And if you've got one at home that you want to light, then that'll be lovely. Then we're just actually going to pause for a couple of minutes so that people do have time to think about the person and think about memories. And then after that, we have got some memories on our memory wall, which we're going to read out between us. So Jane's lit a candle. I'm going to light mine. So hopefully you can join us in just spending a couple of minutes in quiet thinking about the person. Okay, I'm just going to put that down. We're just going to go through some of the messages we've had and some of the memories that people have shared with us on our memory wall. Like I said, if you are watching this back later and haven't been able to share it live, then please still do add to the memory wall. The memory wall is on our website, and my colleague will put the link into the chat so you can follow it, or you can find it on our website so you can add to it later. But we've had a message this evening from Ian saying that this is my first Christmas since my brother passed away, and I've been shocked with how many long forgotten memories come flooding back. So thank you for sharing that, Ian. I think important to feel those memories, and even if they make you feel sad, I think it's still important to acknowledge them and to think about them. And so yeah, thinking of you, Ian. And then we've got some memories on our website. So the first one is a lovely lady called Barbara Lee, and it says, my beautiful, kind, clever and loving mum was sadly taken from us, having had dementia for 6 years. So many more happy memories could have been made. Instead, we had to watch her fade away. Beautiful inside and out. She will always be in my heart till we meet again. I love you, Mum. That was Barbara Lee.
And this is May Dalgleish, my mum. You are missed every day, thought of every day, loved every day. You fought a hard battle and kept me on my toes. Some days were hard and some days we laughed. But most of all, you gave me strength and lots of happy memories and made me the woman I am today. Merry Christmas, Mum.
And then Sylvia. For years, my wife was cared for at home, but last year she entered a care home where she seems to have settled. I visit her daily and lunch with her regularly. She still recognised me, but I know that our time is limited. I hurt. I have the memories that she doesn't, and sometimes they leak from my eyes and roll down my cheeks. My life will never be the same.
My mum, Susan Page. Even though you are gone, I am thankful that you loved me from day one and never gave up on me. I'm thankful that you're at peace and not suffering anymore. I wish you could still be here. I really do. I love you, Mum, even though I was your carer for over 20 years and your full-time carer for 7 of all those years. I loved being there for you and you trusting in me so much. Thank you.
And then our next one is called Grandma. Remembering your living room, Grandma, and the happy family times you hosted there. Was lovely that you met your granddaughter and she had a chance to experience the warm and welcoming care and attention you always had for the little ones.
Rosemary. Every day is difficult, Mum. Every day is a challenge. Some days I want to pull my hair out, but I remember all the things you have done for me, all the years you cared for me. I remember decorating the tree together and having the music up loud. We will still have the music on quietly this year, but you don't want the tree, and that's okay with me. I love you, Mum.
And then we have one just entitled Mum. You got your angel wings earlier this year. We still have a huge gap that cannot be filled. You were so funny, even to the end, even in the pain, the dementia disasters as we called them. I laugh when I think of you wearing your hat the hat from your cracker all Christmas and Boxing Day, and getting cross with me whenever I try to slip it off your head. You were always funny, Mum. We love you.
Hap. You will be sadly missed this Christmas. The green champion of barns, the litter-picking king, the man of the wetlands, we knew you as him. You asked our names twice, then asked them again, but that didn't matter. Your warmth felt the same. The places you've lived, the lives that you've seen, the people you've met, the countries you've been. We all have our own Hap, and each one a pleasure, a privilege, an honour. Your life we will treasure.
Thank you. And then a couple that have come through on the website. So Pamela, when I was a young child, my dad and I would often spend some time on a Saturday afternoon sat in the grounds of the local church eating our lunch. Almost 60 years later, hearing any church bell ring takes me straight back to that time. I remember it like it was yesterday. And then from Denise, my mum passed away almost 2 years ago and I think about her every day. The sense of relief at the time filled me with guilt, but over time I began to feel more positive and the good memories started to flood back. Each week as children, my brother and I would be allowed one trip to the sweet shop. She'd pretend she was doing us a huge favour, but she loved being about town and chatting to the local shopkeepers. Community meant so much to her, and I tried to allow that element of her life on through giving some time each week to a selection of local charities. Thank you for sharing those memories. I think it kind of leads us on to thinking a little bit about creating new memories sometimes, and so remembering memories of the person that you've cared for, but equally in terms of moving on with your life and creating new memories, which maybe there's a reflection of that person in what you're doing as well. Is there anything about that, Jane?
Yes, well, I do have another poem. It's written by an American man, I think, very recently, and I think he's in the early part of his journey with dementia, and he's writing this for his children. And he says, if ever I don't know your name, recall these words that I now write. No season ever stays the same. Fall yields to winter, day to night. If ever I forget your face, though hard to fathom now, dear child, I ask you to recall the days we walked on trails through canyons wild. Those nights we camped under the stars and filled our lungs with mountain air. The trips we took in vans or cars while singing songs from here to there. Remember beach days, Sunday hikes, or at the lakeshore skipping stones. Those Saturdays we rode our bikes for donuts or for ice cream cones. I hope you won't become too sad, nor let my absence cast a pall, for I will always be your dad. I pray our good times you'll recall. Now go and make new memories. In moving on, you play your part. Sing soft, our favourite melodies. I'll sing along deep in your heart.
Oh, that's lovely. That's lovely. So we hope you've given time to think about memories, good and bad, and or sad. It's probably the better the word, and that it gives you some comfort as you kind of go through the journey. But yeah, also just thinking about things that you can do in the future, or to create memories and for people to live on. And we just had a message from Donna saying thank you for this evening. It's brought back so many warm memories, and I'll definitely be making time for myself to remember my dad more. So I think really probably we just want to finish by thinking about looking after yourselves and giving yourself some time to reflect, but also some time for some self-care as well, and try not to get too caught up in the craziness of planning for family festivals and Christmases and things like that, but looking after yourself as well. We do have some, just wanted to let you know that we do have ongoing support available. If anybody has been has watched this and kind of wants to talk about things more, then we do have our support line available, and our text service if you need ongoing support. And we do have other sessions in the new year looking at different aspects of looking after yourself as a carer and supporting the person you have with dementia. So look at our website to see what else we have available. But just really think about the importance of looking after yourself and taking care of yourself. Jane, have you got any final thoughts?
Well, I echo that you know, if you don't look after yourself, then the memories won't be as easy to manage. And it is a nice thing, or it will be a nice thing, to look back at those early memories, as we've heard from some of our in the chat. You might want to look for more formal ways of remembering. There are formal memorial services. If if someone has died at a hospice or a care home, you may well find that there's annually a service where you can go and remember them. And there's All Souls Day that sometimes has services, or someone of another faith will have a similar type of way of remembering, I'm sure. So you might want to look out for those more formal ways of remembering, if that would work for you.
Lovely, thank you, Jane. Thank you. So yeah, just to let you know that our support line is available. The support line is going to be closed on the bank holidays, but the text service is 24 hours a day, so you could use that. And the support line will be open next week between the bank holidays. If you can't get through straight away, then please do leave a message, because one of our practitioners will get back to you. But just wanted you to know that you are supported, that we are here to support you if we can. And just sending the best wishes from us all for Christmas and festivities. And there will be a session next week, actually next Thursday, at our usual lunchtime slot, with Marianne, who is the co-founder of Alzheimer's Authors. So join us for that if you can, but if not, we'd love to see you at some of our other events. And do stay in touch, do reach out to us. We are here to support you as best we can. And yeah, let's hope that you have some lovely memories made this Christmas that you can recall in years to come. Thank you, Jane, for joining us.
Been great. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you everybody else, and Merry Christmas. Thank you.